Oh, hello folks, this is Steve AB4L. I had an interesting experience a couple of days ago as a YouTube creator. I'm not sure how long this one's going to be, but for those of you who might be interested in some of the workings of the YouTube Creator Studio, what I have to deal with in creating episodes and publishing them, and then managing them afterwards. Now, my channel is Steve AB4L, and you might remember a video I uploaded and published a couple of days ago called Thank You for So Many Views. And that one came up because you see that one next to it titled Installation Completed? When I published that, suddenly it was getting a burst of views, which caught my eye. As a matter of fact, it topped out at 960 views. And I was wondering, was that a bot doing that? Or is there really local interest in as soon as they... And that's what that video was about. Thank you for so many views. Because it was kind of a new experience to me. Well, when I was sitting here like this, in front of my webcam, with my recorder here, with OBS, recording what's on the screen and me talking, a radio alarm clock in the next room wanted to remind me to take one of my evening medications. Now, I have it set up where it's actually tuned to a Greensboro classical rock station and the volume's turned up all the way. And I'm doing this video like I'm here right now and it goes off. So I stopped talking, I got up, I went in the other room, I set the next time I wanted to wake me up, came back here and then continued. I didn't stop the recording. I said to myself, I got to remember to delete that when I'm scripting, rendering, and publishing the video. What do you think I'm smiling about? Now I'm going to show you a slideshow. When I publish a video by way of the YouTube Creator Studio, there's a certain dialogue you use. You have to upload the video, and then you have to fill in some stuff, and then you have to actually decide when you're going to publish it. You can publish it immediately, or you can schedule it. I usually schedule now. Well, while I'm doing that, I take screenshots of each of the steps. In case something goes wrong, what did I do? I can go back and look at the steps. That's been helpful a couple of times. So this is irfanview. We're going to play a slideshow. This is a dialogue that you have to fill in when you're publishing a video. Yeah, everything is paperwork, right? Now, it's uploading. I start doing this. It finally says, as I'm working on this, it says upload finished. And then almost immediately, I see the red checks. Now, what's this? This is a dialogue. This one is for the video I'm publishing. Thank you for so many views. And then there's these fields you need to enter in, including putting up what's called a thumbnail. But the publication dialog has details, video elements, checks, and then visibility. Visibility is making the decision about actually publishing it. I hope that's right. Now this is another aspect of that dialogue. You see the checks? I can't think of the last time I saw that. And besides that, a couple of years ago, see, I've been doing YouTube stuff for a long time. The brilliant people at YouTube decided to completely redo the publication dialogue system. Completely different. And some of it was not too convenient. But they've improved things as they've gone along. So I saw that. And then I went, oh yeah, Mr. Genius, you forgot to delete that alarm. So you step through to get to this, because there's 4 main dialogues, steps. And now we're at the checks itself. It says checks. We'll check your video for issues that may restrict its visibility, and then you will have the opportunity to fix issues before publishing your video. It always says that. But then under the copyright, it's usually there's nothing there. But this time there is. Copyright protected content found. Oh, I wonder what it was. Do you think it was a classical rock music blaring in the other room? You think OBS in my recorder have? But then it says, and we can see these dialogues are customized. The owner allows the content to be used on YouTube. Now, a long time ago, on my Good Twins channel, I had one of these. It was under the old dialogue system. It was actually at the Greek festival at the fairgrounds in Raleigh, North Carolina, where I was living in Raleigh. There was a stage show of people doing Greek music. I always went to the Greek festival every year because it was so much fun and the food was so good. And I was just making a video of it. Well, that got dinged. Not immediately, but after a couple of months. They must have been checking this. They must have published some of their stuff, and then they started maybe looking on YouTube, and my video got dinged. But it was okay because what it said was, this won't affect your video. You don't have to do anything, but any money you might earn from this video will go instead to the owners of the music copyright. And that was the main part of the video. And I thought, that's okay. Okay. My channel's not monetized anyway. But even if it were, I would have agreed to that. No problem. I thought that group was, well, that's why I made the video and published it, because I thought you should see them. But let's get back to this. Remember, these checks results aren't final. Issues may come up in the future that impact your video. So today it says this will have no impact on me, but what if the copyright owner changes their mind, which on YouTube is notorious. I was just watching, they're called DCMA violation notices. I was just watching a video by a guy called Me Mudahar, and he started his video with big warnings. If you try to DCMA me on this one, I'll take you to court and we'll fight this to the Supreme Court. You're not going to... So it's an issue. Got it? I'm explaining this because most of you are passive viewers and don't publish. So I clicked on See Details, video copyright details, status overview, the content ID claim on your video doesn't affect your channel. So that means if I monetize, they're not going to demonetize me, or they're not going to block me, or put me on probation, or put a strike on me. This is not a copyright strike. You're allowed a certain number. The first strike, if you're clean for the next 6 months, they take it off. But if you have a strike and then another one, you're in serious trouble. Channel's got a circle with a green check mark, not affected. Content ID on claim doesn't affect your channel. So then we have to know the details. Now this thing about visibility draft, I'm in the process of uploading and publishing. It's not ready to be published yet, so it's what's called draft status. Once you click and say when you can schedule or you can publish immediately, then that changes to published. Content identified in this video is listed below. Now the radio is set, as I said, to a Greensboro classic rock station. That's all they do all 24 hours a day, classic rock. And then they gave, it's a remaster of a Led Zeppelin. And then they say, now remember these numbers, 1450 to 1504. As in the recorded length of the video, which you saw was as published, 21 minutes long, at 14 minutes and 50 seconds, suddenly they detected the music. YouTube, the YouTube bot, the checker. And they say the violation continued until 1504. So that says 14 seconds, starting at 1450. Well, I got up from my chair, I went in there, I fixed the radio up to the next alarm time, silencing it, and came back and sat down, and then continued. That's only for how long it could hear the music, not for how long the actual interruption in the video is that I should have deleted before I rendered and then published. 1450 to 1504 is 14 seconds. Then they say select an action. Erase song. Remove the claim song. I'm reading all this stuff because I'm educating you. Erase song. Remove the claim song while keeping other sounds such as speech or mute all sound. I could take that period of time and say in whatever tool they're going to give me, just make silence right there. I've actually done that a long time ago in a video. It had something to do with the Ferris wheels at the state fair. And it was music that was playing at the Ferris wheel. Replace song. I could substitute something from the YouTube audio library. There's music that you see them in some of my videos. Doesn't require attribution. I could substitute 14 seconds of something that I choose in place so that overrides it and you can't hear the Led Zeppelin remake. The bottom one is dispute. Now I'm skipping the trim for a reason. Dispute a claim if you have the necessary rights to the content or other valid reasons. It takes up to 30 days for a final resolution from the claimant. Your channel won't receive a strike if your dispute gets rejected. And the reason why they word it that way is it already said this can't, at the present time, cause a strike. So what I've learned is that this dialogue is customized to the facts of the particular check stop. But I decided to do with their tool, to see if I could do with their tool what I should have done here when I was preparing and rendering the video. Trim out the section. Cut out both video and audio of the claim segments to resolve the claim. And that's what I chose. I clicked on trim out the segment. Now, the screen they showed me said, start, trim the claim part of your video, remove the part of your video where copyrighted content has been claimed, double check your video before continuing, trim will remove things like info cards, ad breaks, and end screens that exist in the trimmed area. So this is the template that they're showing me. They've gone to the place in the video, and the blue thing up there is what they're going to trim out. Now the point of this is, I was sitting here talking when the song started to play. If we left that in, you would see me say a word or two and then stop talking. And they're saying they will cut, they're proposing to cut from 1449 to 1505. Now remember what I said. I got up, I got in there and turned off the radio, but there's still the part where I have to come back out here that I don't want in there. Trim the claim part of your video. Now, there's something about the way my computer does things like what you're seeing up there. What I decided to do is that looking at the way it was laid out, this all new thing, when you do scheduling of a video, it shows you a calendar and it shows you a time box. You choose what day you want it to be published and you choose at what time. And like if I were publishing this video right now at like 9 p.m., uploading it to be published when? So I go to the publish step, and the system automatically says, we assume you want to publish at midnight the coming tomorrow. Today is Sunday. As soon as it ticks over to be Monday, is that when you want it published? That's the default setting. It's always midnight of the next day of what day you're at. You understood that? And the dialogue times look kind of like that. But they allow you to modify it. Like I always like to publish at 12:02 a.m. I can go into the 00 and highlight it and hit the 2, and it accepts that. It's a data input thing. You can choose exactly when you want it to go. And I said, I'll bet that's the way these are. 1449 to 1505. I know it's got to go longer than 1505. 1449, 1505. 1449, 1522. You see, I increased it. And then there's a backwards arrow that will allow me to undo that. The moment I am satisfied with the times and click save, that's it. It then ready. It gives me this dialog. Are you sure? This process might take a while after your video has been trimmed. We'll update any viewing or monetization restrictions. In other words, they're going to run the check again after they do the editing. Their robot, not mine. Their robot's going to do it. This video will remain in its current state until the process is complete. If somehow I go out or interrupt it, it's like nothing happened, and it's back with the violation. I'm explaining all of this for someone who may run into this. I have the chance to go back and rethink what I'm going to trim. But I chose to trim. And then they repeat the message. And they repeat what it is and no impact. And then they give me, down in the lower right-hand corner, my head's probably in the way, return to upload. So now I can go back to the dialogue where I was, but I have to wait. I can't publish until it says everything is finished. They might bing me again. They might find something else. They might not like what I said to trim. There's still something in there. Okay? Editing in progress. And then finally, we get this dialog, and you see the checks? It's black. What does that say? It says that after they did the trim and redid the video, they redid the check and we're clean. I have nothing to worry about. Now, down here, you see where it says schedule? That's where I would choose when to have it actually published. I could, I don't think my head's covering it. See down here? I could have just clicked publish right now. Or I could schedule it. Oh, that's the end. That's 16 out of 16. So, excuse me the long thing. This is really to inform someone who is publishing videos and may never have had this experience yet and what's involved. Now, there's a double reason why I'm doing this. At least so far as how they carry through to do the trim. Remember, there were 4 choices. I'm talking about them allowing you to set time limits and then let them go in and do the trim. I decided to let them do this because I could end up simply deleting the video if I didn't like what happened. I can delete the video anytime up until when I publish it. I can delete it after it's published. Now I'm talking to other people, creators, who may be getting into situations. For the way this kind of dialoguing was way back when they did the new big thing, 3 or 4 years ago, whatever it was so shitty it was incredible. So shitty. It obviously was a first pass and they had never done it before. They hired somebody out of a dropout from the coding boot camp stuff to write it. I'm being like this for a reason. So far as the way it is now, and me choosing trim and how they presented it, and the result. Ta-da! Thank you. Thank you. It saved me deleting it and starting over again and going in and actually deleting my video stuff and rerunning it. Thank you. And the dialogues and the way it was handled is beautiful. And I recommend to anybody that if you need to delete some segments in order to clean up, I'm talking about the trim, at least on this one, it was literally perfect. Because when I replayed the video, as it turned out, what I did is that for their suggested one, I backed it 1 second earlier. That was one of the 2 time dialogues. And then the other one I had to add more. And what I did is I went and I played my video locally, because I have the copy, and I figured out exactly where it needed to be trimmed. And it was great. And did it take a lot of time? Did it hold me up a long? No. Processing was very prompt. I'm saying with a smile, this editor process trim, thank you. Great. Now, I'm going to say one last thing, and I'm going to leave it. I don't know if I can go backwards. Let me try. No, it won't let me go backwards. Hang on. I think I'm going to intentionally make some videos where I do not a dispute, erase the song, remove the, they claim they now have enough AI behind them that if you're talking and there's violation music, they can actually get the violation music out, but preserve your speech, what you were saying. Or they can do a replace the segment with a different. Now, I'm going to take that one first. I have had experience with trying to replace the song under the new Creator Studio, an earlier version of these tools. And it was shit. It was shit. Primitive. Crap. But I'm willing to give them another try. So in the near future, I'm going to make a video where I intentionally turn on some violating music. Bring the radio in here and flip it on. And I'm going to, when that one gets published, during the process, I'm going to ask them to try to erase the song to see what the quality of the work is. I'm hoping that I'll be able to do this. And I'm going to try another experiment where we do the direct replace. And I'm telling you the way it was before. They didn't have erase just the song and keep your voice. They only had the replace, and that was shit! Boy, talk about really crapping out your video. You say it's this and this, and they do this. Pardon me for getting excited. You can say, I feel strongly about this. If I make a mistake and they offer me a tool to repair it, well, that's the way things go? Or are they really the experts that they claim to be? On the trim, my experience with, now, oh, wait, yes, there will be another third experiment. Have to trim more than one segment, and I'll give them about 6. Okay? Look, I take this stuff seriously, and I'm a retired software engineer, and if you say you can do something, you'd better deliver. Especially if you're a multi-billion-dollar, the 4th most popular thing on the web, you'd better deliver. Oh, but I can. All right? All right? So it started with this, innocently enough. I was doing this video, thank you so much for the views, and the alarm went off. And I had a new experience. And again, I'm going to say, for the single trim, it was terrific. Good design, good execution. But now I know there are 3 more experiments to be done to test the rest of it. Thank you, YouTube. Whoever wrote that code, that's the simple trim. Thank you very much. Executed beautifully. Steve AB40 out, just running his mouth. Remember, I'm just an idiot and I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. Saying see you at 73.